Hello and welcome to episode 37 of the XboxEra podcast. I'm Sikamikanico and I am joined, as per usual, by Shpeshal Ed.
G'day.
And Figments.
Yo.
It's a bit of a delayed yo. But we're all doing this remotely like everybody else in the world, so I'm going to let it slide. It's fine. It's fine. How are we, guys? How we been?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
Not
pretty
too
good.
bad.
Pretty good. Been playing any, those pesky video games lately, or?
Not a lot of them. Playing the usual stuff. Did try out the Cold War Beta,
Any good?
as I'm sure Figments did too.
Mm-hmm.
I personally wasn't a fan.
It's beta, not beta.
Hey, he's
Beta.
Greek. He gets to
Well,
make the
okay,
call.
I'm Greek, mate, and it's a Greek word, champ. So pretty sure you're gonna have to go with me on that one.
Yeah.
Beta. When we say the Greek alphabet, we say alpha, beta, gamma, delta. We don't say beta. We say vita, which is beta.
Wow.
So
Man,
just going to correct you on that one.
When you go full Greek, you
sure.
go full Greek, right? Like,
Yeah.
He does.
Yep.
Anyway, Call of Duty beta. What were your thoughts, Nick?
I was not a fan. The gun feedback felt really cool, but it's like they put so much effort into that gun feedback at the expense of just about everything else. And the time to kill for me was way too long, and the recoil was out of control, and I don't know. I wasn't a fan, and I just can't believe the visual downgrade from Modern Warfare.
And when I told you that Black Ops Cold War is being made in the Black Ops 3 engine with only slight changes from the Modern Warfare engine, your mouth literally dropped in the Discord.
I don't understand how you have access to that engine. It's arguably that Infinity Ward Modern Warfare engine has to be one of the best engines to come out of this generation. How you have access to that engine and you don't use it?
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it based off of the Quake engine as well? It's effectively the engine that powered
No.
Quake.
That was
the old Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's the original COD engine was built off the Quake engine. The one Infinity Ward is using is a brand new engine.
Yeah, it's a brand new engine they built from the ground up for Modern Warfare.
The thing is, when developers say they built an engine from the ground up, like 343 saying that Slipstream is built from the ground up, it's still based off of some of the elements of the old engine. I just want to...
there would be. Of course there would be.
Yeah, of course. But it's such a significant upgrade that it might as well have been built from the ground up.
Yeah, but the Modern Warfare engine's unbelievable.
But Cold War is based almost entirely on the Black Ops 3 engine, which is the Black Ops 2 engine, which is the Black Ops 1 engine, which is 15 years too long in the tooth. So
I take it that comes across when you guys are playing then, right?
It feels like I haven't stopped playing Black Ops since 2010. It is pretty much one of the best Call of Duties ever made, but as a successor to Modern Warfare and its fundamental gameplay mechanics and the game feel and how it looks and just everything about that game, Black Ops Cold War is a terrible successor to Modern Warfare. I know it shouldn't be. I know that Treyarch has their own fans, their own style of gameplay, and yada yada yada, whatever. But people expecting Black Ops Cold War to be an improvement on Modern Warfare are going to be sorely disappointed. It is a retread in almost every way. It is classic Call of Duty if you like classic Call of Duty. Well, classic Treyarch Call of Duty, but it honestly feels like Treyarch is just phoning this in. 100%. They are not trying to make this game.
Let's give them some fairness here. I think any studio now trying to push a game for the fall this Christmas is been affected by COVID in all sorts of ways.
It wasn't just COVID affecting them either. It was Activision dropping Sledgehammer from the 3-year rotation and going back to the 2-year rotation that they had throughout the 360 generation.
Stifles innovation.
It screwed them over in terms of how long they could have to make this game. And honestly, I still don't understand Activision's reasonings for taking Sledgehammer out of the rotation. It's not like the games they made, Advanced Warfare and World War II, were not well received. They were fairly well received for their time. World War II was probably one of the best boots on the ground Call of Duties I played before Modern Warfare.
World War II
I enjoyed it.
Advanced Warfare had an amazing campaign. Unbelievable campaign. The multiplayer, to be fair, was atrocious. Like easily the worst in the series.
But it wasn't. It wasn't like we've had bad multiplayer in Call of Duty before. You know,
not this
Ghost
bad.
was
not
Ghost
Advanced
was
Warfare bad.
No. Advanced Warfare was decent. It wasn't terrible. Whatever. Anyway,
it was bad.
The point I'm trying to make here is Treyarch was basically had their knees chopped off and were forced to crawl towards this game, and then COVID shot their arms off, and now they're forced to kind of just wiggle towards this game. You know, it's just it's a sad situation all around. But honestly, I've been feeling that Treyarch has been phoning it in since Black Ops 3.
I'm sure it's still going to sell like crazy, but
it's going to sell like crazy.
Call of Duty always sells like
crazy.
Be
incredibly happy. The Treyarch fans are going to be incredibly happy. It's going to sell like crazy. It's going to be the next best Black Ops for those guys. But honestly, it's just the same Black Ops I've been playing for 10 years. And I don't want to.
Curious as to whether it would outsell Modern Warfare, though. I don't reckon it will.
Maybe not. A lot of people I've seen across Reddit and Twitter have expressed the same concerns. The alpha was atrocious. They had so much negative feedback on what they put into the alpha. They improved a lot on it. When I played the alpha, it was very much a situation of, I'm not buying this game at all. And I don't want to even touch this game. The beta shifted that towards, I might buy this game. I'll see what other people are saying. And that's a good improvement. That's a really good improvement. But it's still nowhere near the level of, I would rather play Cold War over Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
It's more to the level of, it's all right, but it just keeps reminding me that I want to play Modern Warfare.
Yeah, Modern Warfare is perfect to me.
Yeah, Modern Warfare is good.
Aside from the fact it takes up a small country on your hard drive, I enjoyed what I played of it, but unfortunately,
people expecting Cold War to be any different in terms of file sizes are going to have a rude awakening.
Probably not. But I'm sure it'll be big. I think the problem for me nowadays is Call of Duty. The campaigns are always fun, and I have to admit, Modern Warfare was the first Call of Duty campaign that I was like, yeah, this feels like the good old days of 2007 with the first Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare.
Where it did some really, really cool stuff, particularly the nighttime raid on the London flat was just like...
Yeah, it was great.
This is really cool.
I love that. That was so good.
But I still feel that the multiplayer is just... I'm too old for this right? Okay, that's fundamentally what it boils down to. Spawn, die. Oh, that person's doing better, so now they've got loads of stuff to kill me with. Whatevs. I much prefer my cooperative stuff nowadays, apart from Halo for versus gaming. The only thing I've been playing this week, I have had an insanely busy fortnight, and I'm not talking about the game. It's just been a busy 2 weeks, so I've barely been able to do anything that I like to do. I played a little bit of World War Z, just because we fancied some co-op, and it's on Game Pass.
Is it good?
Do you know what? It's okay. It's Left 4 Dead. It's Left 4 Dead, but third person. As we had fun. You know, any co-op game I think is lifted by being fun, and it was fun. And I had a really great session. I say really great. It was a bit of a weird one. Sea of Thieves Friday night. We normally set out Friday nights. Let's just play Sea of Thieves for like good 4 or 5 hours, really big sesh.
Mm-hmm.
But the server we logged into was just devoid of any other human players, so we kind of got a bit complacent. And then right at the end of the evening, we've been playing for 4 hours. We done a load of the new vaults, had all sorts of stuff on our ship. Came across a player galleon, went in there, and they were all CS:GO players on a weekend off. And they just boarded us, and we're just like doing all sorts of trick snipe shots, like 360 no scopes. And it was painful, and we lost everything, and that was kind of like just like fizzled out at the end. So yeah, it's not been a
That's
great
the thing
time
that
for games.
I love. Like, I love Sea of Thieves as a concept, but having the like a moderately successful play session end with what is essentially world champion FPS players deciding that now it's your turn to fail.
Yeah, but to be fair,
just kind of ruins it for the night, and people just leave the game because it's just.
But
I don't want to play that anymore.
Here's the thing: we said this at the time. I was like, that's the first time in probably, honestly, 6 months of us Sea of Thieving it. We very rarely get defeated to such a degree because we're pretty good at it. We play a lot, and it's always PC players. And I play on PC, but I play with a pad. All right, and you can immediately know when you're up against a Sea of Thieves player that's using mouse and keyboard because it's just unfair. And what bugs me about the game, and that I wish they would implement what Modern Warfare implemented on PC, which is if you started a game with your pad plugged in, you couldn't pick up the mouse and keyboard and use it mid-game. You couldn't just change your mind. And whilst they allow console players to match with console players, they don't allow pad players to match with pad players. If you're on PC, you're in the PC pool. Doesn't matter, and that bugs me. Which is one reason I'm really looking forward, because obviously Xbox Series X, I think they confirmed this week. We'll get to that in a bit. But Sea of Thieves is getting an optimized version because I was straight away, as much as I love playing in super ultra wide for Sea of Thieves, I will switch to my 4K 60 console to play because I will be matched with the console kids, and then we'll never sync again, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it was I was a bit jaded. Just a bit jaded.
Honestly, input-based matchmaking needs to have been a thing at the start of this whole crossplay I think
wave. They'll get better at it very quickly.
I'm sure we'll get it.
They'll get there. We'll get there. I mean, Halo Infinite was already confirmed to have input-based matchmaking.
Is that?
Black Ops doesn't have. I think I heard something along those lines. But Black Ops doesn't have input-based matchmaking yet, even though it has PC, PS4, Xbox crossplay. So that's going to be interesting.
You can definitely tell on Fortnite when you're against the PC player, because I finally got Iron Man in Fortnite, which is the only reason I bought the Battle Pass. I wanted Iron Man. And then my daughter's got the Battle Pass. She's got Iron Man, and I felt bad for my son. He doesn't play Fortnite yet, but he's going to start sometime soon. He turns 5 next month. And I'm thinking I might let him get into Fortnite. So I felt bad. So I got him the Battle Pass, and I've been playing on his account. So I've actually been grinding away at the Battle Pass twice in Fortnite.
What's wrong with you?
So I'm almost at level 100 for him. But you can tell when you're playing against PC players on Fortnite, because you'll see someone in the distance, you'll go to pepper them with a scope gun of some kind, and they just turn into a 5-star hotel within seconds.
And
it's like, how is that even physically possible? Like, you can't do that. You have to be
for a minute.
Like, you have to have.
I didn't understand the reference. I was like, and then I remembered that. Oh yeah, the reason I don't play Fortnite is I hate the building aspect of the game.
Building.
Oh my god!
Give me a mode without the building. Just come on. It's just so annoying. Like,
it's dumb because there's people that got mad at me when I was playing Fortnite, like, on occasion. I don't play it anymore. It's been a couple years, but there'd be people who get mad at me for killing them.
Yeah, I know.
And they would text me in the chat saying, "Why didn't you build against me?" I'm like, what are you talking about? Why would I build against you?
Yeah,
I'm here to kill you, not race to see who can hit the world sky limit faster.
It's very silly.
I feel like when I play Fortnite now, I feel like I'm really good at it because people don't want to take me on. Like, they want to try and outbuild me. So it's like, clearly, I will destroy you if you try and just have a shootout with me.
Yeah.
So obviously you
That's
need
what I
to
hate.
build a
It's just-
hotel and hide in your hotel from me.
Yeah.
It's the building just ruins every gunfight.
Yeah,
It's frustrating.
It's crap to watch. It's not my jam. So in an effort to keep things on track, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, let's talk a little bit about a news story that broke from our last episode with our friend Tom Warren from The Verge. Because
Nick. Nick.
You know that episode's at 4,000 views now because of that.
Yeah. So let's discuss the reason as to why. What did you not say?
Okay, what I didn't say was that Microsoft has a giant acquisition that they're saving the best for last.
You didn't say
That's
that.
what I didn't say.
Right.
You know, and the funny thing is, someone linked me to that article. The website, I think, is Gamer Tweak or Game Tweak or something. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I started seeing getting tagged on Twitter, and I'm getting tagged in the Discord. Hey, Nick, you've been mentioned. I'm like, what the hell is this? What did I say? I don't think I said anything. And so I'm reading this article, and it's like, save the best for last, massive acquisition. I'm like, wait. I'm like, what?
You didn't say that.
So I'm going back to the episode, and I'm clicking through the episode, and I'm like, what the hell did I say? What the hell did I say? And I found the excerpt, and I played it back, and literally all I said was, oh, yeah, Microsoft's got one more acquisition. That's it. That's all I said. And yet somehow that became that Microsoft has a giant acquisition as big as Bethesda, and they're using it as a save the best for last announcement, and it's huge. And I'm like, what the hell?
Where did that? I don't understand.
I bet Z-Huge wants to block you twice now.
I was just like, what is happening right now?
It's
and
bizarre.
Then our friend Rand L4, the man with 100K,
the guy with the tomato with the beard,
he's got like 100,000 gamer score.
100,000. I've got more than him.
It's like I'm just hanging crap on him. It's a million, but they keep calling me mediocre Red, so I've got to think of something. I think they're actually recording their podcast as we're recording ours, but they do theirs
live.
Yeah, they do it live. They're special. I'm just not as special as me. Rand did a video on it.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. Rand did a video on it, which was nice, saying, I don't think Ed said that. And then he played a clip from our podcast, which I think we should sue him for and try and get some of his money.
Hey, hang on.
Our podcast without our permission.
No, it's fair use. It's fair use. It's fine.
Fair use.
Yeah.
Fair use.
So, I don't think he said that. And then he played the clip back, and I clearly didn't say that. And, he was sort of calling out Gamer Tweak for trying to get clickbait or whatever.
It was a blatant attempt at clickbait. And, look, we've been on the receiving end of being accused of farming for clickbait. Again, we don't run any advertisements. We gain nothing from clicks. I don't understand why people seem to insist on this. But what frustrates me is that I don't think that article has been corrected. That's still just standing as it is right now.
Yeah, I know.
At least if we get an update, we update our articles. It's mind blowing. But yeah, it was very entertaining watching all that unfold.
Yeah,
it was nice of Rant to do a video on it, I have to admit.
I couldn't wow. You can't say anything now. You literally can't say a thing.
The thing is, you've now said the phrase on the podcast. Giant acquisition, save the best till last, and they'll just edit out I didn't say at the beginning, and boom, it's done.
That's why you have to be like me, Nick. Consistently irrelevant, and no one ever mentions.
I don't understand.
No one twists my words.
I freaked out when I was like, "What did I say now?" I'm like, "Oh God!" I'm trying to think back. Did I say anything bad? And then I watched it, and I'm like, I said nothing.
Yeah, you said nothing. That we haven't already said in that we believe.
Oh, Microsoft having another acquisition is not exactly a scoop.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. It's not like that was a surprise to anyone. Come on, Jesus.
It's just, I think it's the whole saving the best for last because it implies it's bigger than a $7.5 billion purchase, which
and it's
nothing's going to
like,
be bigger than that.
That's,
all right.
I'd be shocked if Microsoft acquires anyone bigger than Bethesda.
Yeah,
I'd be staggered.
So I thought we'd get that one out of the way, make sure we cleared the air for any listeners that might have heard that little nugget and thought that we'd said something we had not. In other interesting video game related news, before we get into some more console centric stuff, is the Quest 2 is now out in the wild. And I'm not sure if you've bought one or either of you have bought one. What's interesting is I did see a wonderful story on Eurogamer about how the forced Facebook login has caused a lot of people to end up with a nice big brick that they can't now access the games they own because they linked it to the wrong Facebook account, or they never had Facebook and they decided to make an account so they could play games. And
apparently it's new Facebook accounts that are having the issue.
Yeah.
So I in preparation went and created an Oculus account with my Facebook account. Yeah. Just in preparation.
Wise
and
decision.
Now I'm worried that maybe I shouldn't have done that.
But that's the right thing to do. I have to admit, that's the other thing I've been playing. I completely forgot. I was going to mention Star Wars Squadrons, but it's too late. It's too late for that. Maybe I'll dive into it later. But I linked my Oculus account. I downloaded the software to play that game and maybe get ready for VR using Oculus Link. And straight away when I installed the software, it said, hey, do you want to merge it with your Facebook? And my Facebook account, I have one. I very rarely post it, apart from when I post a photo, it will upload it automatically to Facebook. I don't post how I'm feeling or anything of that nature, or any wild conspiracy tin pot crazy theories. So I don't think you'll have an issue. But yes, it seems to be people that created a brand new account, put in real details, and then tried to link them. It then assumed the algorithm, I guess, the computer at the other end assumed fake and closed it all down. It's bad.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what it is. Because like when I first heard that they were going to link Facebook to it, I'm like, my first thought was, just create a fake Facebook account and use that, so you don't have to worry about your personal info. And I wonder if Facebook thought of that and thought, okay, if you've created this account within the last week, we automatically suspect it's a fake one that you're trying to link to Oculus, and they're banning them. I wonder if it's something like that.
Yeah, I think there's an algorithm at play here and not a human element. But then
that'd have to be.
They've clearly screwed up by making that a requirement, because of course people that don't want a Facebook account but want to play video games will make an account with bugger all real information on it. You can't force people. But the funny thing is,
even when I did it though, it still asked me to create a username and asked me to link an email, even though I was using my Facebook account. So my guess
you
is
still
that
get a
even when
gamer
I'm
tag.
playing-
You still get a gamer tag in the Oculus world.
And that's fine. If you're still going to get a gamer tag that gets, like, I used my gamer tag, Shpeshal Ed.
Yeah.
I had to use an underscore, which is annoying, but I use my gamer tag. So I'm assuming that that's what's going to display should I play online or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And that doesn't bother me as much, because technically my Microsoft account's the same. It's got all my real world details, but you don't see those. You see Shpeshal Ed.
Yep, exactly right.
Yeah, I don't think that's as big a deal as making it out.
I've got some friends, Harmonica is one of the contributors for our site. He bought an Oculus Quest after he came around mine last year. He tried it. He was like, this is awesome. Bought it. He said, it's made by Facebook. Do I have to have a Facebook? I was like, nope. And then when he heard that they've done this and they're forcing it retroactively on, he's really against them as a company, and he dislikes the idea of putting any of it. He doesn't have a Facebook. He doesn't do social media. He doesn't let photos of himself get uploaded online. That's his personal choice. I ain't gonna knock it. But he's understandably enraged by the forcing you. Yeah, you want to play with this cool bit of kit. You have to have this. That's a real underhanded move from them, I think. But it's their call. It's their platform. What can we do?
The Zuck wants his data.
Yeah, you are the product.
It is
people.
making me a little hesitant to get one, but I do actually want to get one. It's only $640 for the 256 gig, which is surprisingly cheap.
Yes.
I'm actually shocked.
$299 here. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
Wait, $299 for the.
And I even bought that Elite
6
strap.
gig.
No, the smaller one.
I even bought that Elite strap because screw that crappy cloth one that it comes with.
I'll have to have a look.
I don't know.
It's going to be a Christmas job.
I came this close. Like, I was on the site. I added it to my cart. I'm like, oh, do I get it now? But it said I'm not going to get it till mid-November anyway. So I'm like, you know what? I'll wait till they've got more stock and I can get it straight away.
Yeah.
The thing that, okay, so after having played with it for a little bit, the thing I don't get is the initial complaints about tracking being worse. It's not. It's actually kind of better.
Well, I'd argue that it's better because there's better processing power behind the algorithms that predict.
Yeah.
But expert players on Beat Saber said it was noticeably worse. But I don't know. It's anecdotal, right? I don't think to the everyday VR user it's going to be any negligible change. I detest the fact that it's white instead of black.
So that's fine.
I do want to play multiplayer Beat Saber, though. I really need to get that reinstalled. Like, that makes me hype. I really want to do that with a group of friends.
Pistol Whip, I did try. I think I told you guys I tried Pistol Whip. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't mind.
Makes you feel like John Wick.
Anyway, Xbox, no VR yet. All right, folks, suck it up. It's not happening for some time, if ever. All right, now this is gonna be a tricky one.
Here we go. How long have we been going for? How long have we been going for?
I'm going to limit you. In fact, I'm going to limit you. I'm going to start a timer on this, all right? Because you're not allowed to rant for longer.
Sorry.
No.
This is ridiculous.
Come on, you got to stick to it. You're not allowed to rant for longer than 60 seconds. That's what you got 60 seconds to deliver. Come on. 60 seconds to deliver your point. Right, because we're going to touch on something that sent Ed into rage, pure.
This is
anger.
2v1 anyway.
It wasn't just him.
It is 2v1.
So
let's caveat this, ladies and gentlemen. It came out today, despite the fact, and I'm gonna preface this, and you can counter. This will be the sensible bench, right? People on the sensible bench can come and sit with me. You know, we'll grab a beer and we'll chill out because it's just video games, right? It came out via Digital Foundry, John Linneman, Dark1X on Twitter, that the preview version of the Xbox Series X dashboard renders in 1080p, much like the current Xbox One X dashboard. Now, no journalist has said, oh, my dashboard's looking blurry. No one said, oh, this really affects the games it's playing. But apparently there is a problem for some people. And I will throw it over to the opposition.
Of course, there's a problem
to come at me with the reason why a 4K dashboard is super important.
What world am I living in where people are okay with a 1080p dashboard on their 4K device? Like, I'm not. What crazy pills am I taking? Like, if you're going to be okay with 1080 and you're going to whip out that piss weak excuse of, oh, it's about the games and I want my games to have more RAM, then why not have a 480p dashboard and save even more RAM? You know what? Have just a DOS interface, and we all just type in CD freaking Halo Infinite.exe. Don't even have an interface if that's the case. Like, just go all the way with it. Or just have a bunch of tiles and nothing else. Like, it is straight up garbage. And you know what? Take the Series X out of it. Don't even worry. Everyone's focusing on the Series X. Don't worry about the Series X. Why the hell does the One X not have a 4K dashboard? Like, just spare me your piss weak excuses. If you bought an expensive car tomorrow, a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, a Ferrari, a F1 McLaren, if you bought one of those cars, jumped into that car, and your head unit was a cassette deck from 1987, you would be pissed. Like, but hold on. It's okay though, isn't it? You can still listen to the radio. You can still listen to music. You can still drive the car. The car's still real fast and it's real powerful and it's this amazing car. It's just a cassette deck, right? What's the issue? You would be pissed because you have bought this expensive car that has this garbage interface where you're listening to music. Like, come on, people. Like, you know, we're talking about the Series X now and the One X. These are the consoles that the enthusiasts are buying to pair with their 4K TVs. And if the PS4 Pro and the PS5 can have a 4K dash and they've got animations and themes and they've got flawless suspend resume, mind you. The One X has garbage suspend resume. So the PS4 Pro has flawless suspend resume, a 4K dashboard, and less RAM. Less RAM as well. It's using less RAM. Like, it's just, there's no excuse for it.
So I guess the only thing I would say to this is if it comes about that, it was in preview and it was just running the dashboard build we've got, but on the retail unit it renders in 4K. Will you take it all back?
No, because all they've done is meet the bare minimum of what they should have been doing anyway. Oh yeah, congratulations, Microsoft. You've done what you should have done.
So as you can tell, this is a contentious issue, and I believe Figments, you're in complete agreement with.
Expect better, people. Can we just expect better? Like, you're paying for a premium product. Like, don't be happy with bare minimum. Like, we want to hang shit on Sony.
Here's the thing.
Hold on, we want to hang shit on Sony for their bare minimum BC. Oh, but don't make a big deal out of a 1080p dash. What do you reckon is harder to do? The BC like Microsoft's doing, or having a high-resolution dashboard? Which do you reckon is easier? Come on, man. Stop making piss-weak excuses just because we prefer Xbox, blah, blah, blah. Nah, man. There's no excuse for it.
It's not an excuse. I think it's just an overreaction to preview hardware. Like, I'm pretty sure, and I think Jez...
Series X out of it.
I'm pretty sure...
If it was just an overreaction... If it was just an overreaction to preview hardware, it wouldn't still be a problem on the One X. The One X got away with it for so long because the dashboard had straight edges, which are a lot easier for an upscaler to put it at 4K. But the moment I got the new dashboard update, not having that dash in 4K is immediately noticeable. Okay. There's way more aliasing on those corners.
Gentlemen.
What?
You've had 4 minutes of time on your side of the opposition. The Speaker of the House... I'm getting British parliamentarians here.
Ed had 4 minutes.
Just hang on.
I didn't have anything.
As you all know, I have had a plasma for the better part of a decade. You saw it on every episode of this podcast. I had a plasma, and it's a 1080p plasma. So guess what? It was never an issue to me to have a 1080p dashboard because it was the native resolution of my TV. The second I got that 4K TV in June, it was immediately noticeable that it was a 1080p dashboard. Immediately noticeable on the One X. Like I said, take the Series X out of it. I'm pissed off about the One X having a 1080p dashboard as well.
So, hang on. So I believe that Eurogamer did an interview with one of the designers of the One X, that team, and they actually stated a reason as why they weren't bothering to render the dash in 4K, if memory serves. Now, I agree with you. I think that the dashboard should render in 4K as it is a 4K device. All right, it makes sense to me, and I am completely aligned with you. But it's not that big of a deal.
But it's not the point. Like,
okay, it might have been a point.
Yeah, that's not the point.
If you don't care, you know what? If you don't care about your 4K device having a 1080p dashboard, more power to you. It's awesome that you have low standards. That's fine. I have no issue with you having such terrible standards, right? That's okay. Subject. I don't expect everyone to care like I care. Like I've said on this podcast many times that games are low on the priority list for me when it comes to consoles. I've said it before. You can go back through any episode and see I've said it before. So this isn't me just changing my mind to suit my argument right now. But like, stop making garbage excuses for it. If you don't care, that's fine. But stop making garbage excuses. This whole, I want my RAM for games. They've already allocated the RAM for the OS. So make it 4K within that constraint. That's all I'm saying. Like, you've got 3 gig for the OS. Use it properly.
And you hear reports of them decreasing the size of the dashboard by 40% in the latest update.
Yeah, 40%.
Well, okay, then why don't you use that extra 40% headroom to make it 4K? Exactly.
Did they not say, and I'm sure Jez Corden from Windows Central said he's seen, and I'm sure in previous documentation, or there was a previous talk on it, and I'm sure he tweeted it out. He said, I'm sure he's seen that it's going to be 4K on the retail unit. So my point of consternation is that this was uproar about preview hardware. Like, I get the uproar if the console releases on November 10th and it's not in 4K. Fine. I can't argue with you. I think it should be as well. But my amusement, I think, at this subject is that it is based on, as of yet, not final software for day one. And that
but
it's like judging.
I've been upset about it on the One X. Forget the Series X.
Yeah, but they gave a reason.
I've been upset about it on the One X.
They gave a reason.
Yeah, but the reason is bollocks. The reason is bollocks.
On the One X, not on the Series X.
Yes,
on the One X.
OS
on the One X, it's crap.
That is the problem. The OS is a bloated
passion.
That is the issue.
Dashboards in this team.
No, that's.
I would throw this out.
PS3 at a 1080p dash 14 years ago. Like, and so many of the arguments have been, I play games, I don't play dashboards. We use dashboards more than we ever have with our consoles. So spare me your bullshit excuses. Like,
and some of the fucking. Oh, my bad.
We've already sworn a couple of times.
Some of the stupid excuses that I've seen in or the stupid straw men. Oh, remember yesterday, Nick, when we got told, we're using straw men to argue this the whole time while people were sitting there going, I want my dashboard in HDR. I want my dashboard in 120 FPS. Like, what the hell are you even talking about? I just want a resolution increase. That's all I want.
Like, I have a 4K TV and a 4K device. Why am I crazy for wanting a 4K UI? Like, I don't understand. Like, how long are we going to be happy with a 1080p dash? So
some of the responses that people have been having in the Discord make me just assume so you just want a 4K console that has the OG Xbox dashboard because that's all you need, right? You just want to pop in your game and play. You don't have to care about anything.
Don't even have a UI. Just have a black screen with tiles of all your games that are installed, and that's it. And you know what? Even then, it would probably be slow and clunky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Run like crap.
Like, it's
people watching on YouTube, if you feel strongly about this, I might even throw a poll up on the XboxEra.
Come on. I already know what the comments are going to be.
Well, I'm
and
curious.
You know what? They're all going to be garbage. They're all going to be garbage. Like, just like they've been on Twitter, just like they've been in the Discord, they're just going to be fucking garbage because it is a garbage excuse
for regular listeners,
garbage situation.
For regular listeners and watchers, if you're feeling uncomfortable, I'm there with you.
Mate, but hey, come on. Like,
let's see what
Microsoft and Sony have even come out and said 8K. We can support 8K. Mate, you can't even get a 1080 UI and you're talking about 8K for games. Get lost. Like, seriously, just get lost.
That was impressive. It's
ridiculous. Just, oh my God.
I did tell people in the Discord that I'd be asking Nick this question, and let's be honest, he didn't disappoint. If you feel strongly about it, I want to read your comments in the YouTube description. Yeah. So drop them in. I want to hear what people think about this.
10 years time, we're going to have 8K TVs. Oh, well, we can still have a HD UI. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Let's just have a HD UI forever. 12K TVs, 14K TVs. Let's just have a full HD UI forever. No worries, man. Don't worry about it.
I'm doing it. Here we go. Segue. But speaking of UIs.
Yeah. Speaking of UIs, let's talk about PlayStation 5 and what they showed.
It's
their
4K.
4K UI 4K. running in 4K. But also, wasn't there a tweet posted out by what was it, Jeff Grubb, I think, about how it's amazing how Sony designed the PlayStation 5 UI, assuming everyone would play this random crap game the whole time.
$70.
For $70.
I don't think he said random crap game. He said, I think it was in reference to
said
Destruction.
A specific game.
Destruction All Stars. In the fact that they haven't shown anything of the game yet. They haven't given a gameplay demo or anything of any real substance, and yet people are like, "You want to drop
I only said random crap game because I couldn't remember exactly what game he was talking about. So
I didn't mind the dash. It looked okay. I think,
I honestly just think it looks way too complicated.
The cards
all the
thing
time
is a
Xbox
cool
has spent.
Idea. The cards thing is a cool idea.
All the time Xbox spent trying to simplify the UI, make it nice, make it streamlined, make it consistent in its design, its aesthetic, and its functionality, while retaining all the features everyone grew accustomed to and loved, and adding new features. Like, the UI for Xbox right now is the simplest UI we've had.
I like it. I really like it. It's a blurry mess, but I like it.
But to look at that and then see PlayStation 5's UI as this, to me, it looks clunky, complicated, grandiose in a way it doesn't need to be. It looks pretentious to me.
Look,
and this is I don't know.
I think the cards are a cool idea.
I've been freaking hearing PlayStation fanboys yell at Twitter, on Reset, on Reddit, every place they can about how the Xbox Dash is too complicated. What do you mean? Did you see the PlayStation 5 UI? That looks so complicated.
My thoughts were. I think. Go on, Nick.
I was going to say, like I said, I think because that seemed to focus on the cards a lot. And I think the cards are a neat idea. But my thing is, what we don't know is how much extra work is it for these devs for these cards to support the cards? Is it going to be one of those things where, early... So everyone remembers Smart Glass, right? Like, when Xbox first came out, every game had to support Smart Glass. And Smart Glass was cool. And look at Smart Glass, Smart Glass, Smart Glass. After a while, what happened?
Yeah, it just faded away.
Everyone just stopped supporting it. So I wonder.
It helped a lot that Smart Glass also ran like crap on any device it was played on.
So I just wonder if these cards are going to be a similar thing where, at launch, every game's going to support them and da da da. Like, from what I noticed of the cards initially, it was jump into this level, but it's like, don't the games do that anyway themselves?
It strikes me as odd for a couple of reasons. Like, you've got the sections where it says, "Oh, this bit will take you 10 minutes to complete," but in reality, that can only work for a real certain type of game. And I get why they use Sackboy as an example for that, because that collectible will always be in that place, and it will always take X amount of time on average for a player to get there. But I don't see where it's going to come in for games with side quests, where there's multiple levels you can be, and how much power you have to attack here, or here. And it actually gives me a lot of parallels, again, to 2013 Microsoft with Snap, and with you can do this while you're doing this, and you can ask people to help, and you can look up guides and all of this sort of stuff.
They did bring back Snap.
They brought back Snap, and I'm like, what's I don't know. I don't know if I'm imagining things, but I see a lot of really neat features that, to me, I've never been playing a game and thought, I know, I'll look up how to do this or invite a friend to help me. It's a quick YouTube if you're stuck, man. Like, how do you fight this bit? Like, that's what anyone with a phone in their pocket does now, right? I cannot see a market for come and help me defeat this boss, dear friend. Like, I just don't. Yeah. I think it's a feature that's
at least the picture-in-picture stuff does look good, and I really wish Xbox would re-implement that on the Series X, because being able to play multiplayer games and having YouTube in picture-in-picture and like some random corner of your screen, so you don't have to have your phone open to listen to someone doing a Let's Play while you're streaming through a bunch of COD matches. You know,
I use Snap a lot.
I want that.
I used it.
I want that. But if that's the only feature I'd want.
Yeah. If this picture-in-picture thing supports YouTube and all that sort of stuff like Snap did on Xbox, then I'm all for it. I'm a fan. The other issue with the cards, because, again, we haven't seen enough. Like, it's hard. We're making judgments based off a not very in-depth look. Like, how much clunkier or how much messier is that dash going to get when you have lots of games supporting the cards? Like, and I didn't notice if folders were still a thing. Like, I couldn't tell, like, again, unless I missed it. One of the things I've wanted on PS4 for a long time, and we still don't have it, and I don't know if it's there on PS5, is can we pin tiles in place?
Yeah, there's...
Like, I hate the way... Like, it does it now on Xbox, but with Xbox you have pins. So on Xbox right now, when you start a game, you've got your main row of tiles on Xbox, and when you start a game, tile comes to the front, the rest push down.
Yep.
And that's what happens on PlayStation 4 as well. So if you play a game from one of your folders, that folder moves to the front, everything else moves down. I'm okay with that. That's completely logical. But on Xbox, we also have pins. So that doesn't bother me as much because I have my pins there. I would like on PlayStation 4, since all you have is that row of tiles, I'd like to be able to pin stuff that I know I use a lot, like Killzone Shadowfall.
Can we also talk about... go ahead. Sorry. You can finish.
No, I was just going to say I'd like to be able to pin the stuff I use a lot, whether it's a folder or whether it's a specific game. I'd like to be able to pin it to the front and leave it there, and let the rest shift down
Yeah.
When something else crops up. Like, just, that's not difficult. And the Switch does the same way. I'd like to be able to do the same thing on the Switch. Let me pin the stuff that I use a lot to the front and leave it there. It's not.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that hard, surely. I
Can we also talk about for a second how, like, why is it that Xbox is entering the next generation with what is essentially a complete and full-featured dashboard?
Yeah.
Minus, hopefully not minus the 4K
a few pixels here and there.
But why is it launching with a full-featured dashboard when on PlayStation we're yet again going through the motions of, new console, new dash, and now we have to re-implement features we've implemented 5 years ago?
But we don't know. We don't know, do we?
They
did a full tour. They did a full tour.
Well, what have they lost? What do we know they've lost?
Well, that's the problem, right? In that, I saw this and it amused me. I remember seeing a post, and I can't remember which forum I was on, but like, if you're out there celebrating how many likes and watches your favorite company's video has, I don't know, maybe you need to think about your life priorities, but they've shown you a brief tour, right? You don't really fully know, is everything that exists today coming across with it? And I think this is one area, whilst I agree with Nick in this regard, one of my favourite things about new hardware is a new perspective on it, right? New ways of doing things. And yeah, it's nice that they brought out a really decent, in my opinion, refresh of the UI right before launch. But what I'm playing on my One X now is exactly what I'm going to be playing with on my Series X on day one.
That doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me, but there is a little bit of me that's like, I wish they'd gone really crazy. But they are bringing the things that that are cool, like the little animations and the snappiness of it is back to where it arguably should have always been. But I think that they've arguably got the right approach. They've treated it like an operating system. It's running all of the same old games. Arguably, it's certainly not running any new ones anytime soon. But it's not losing anything. We now, anyone that buys a Series X on day one or a Series S will 100% know, and everything that they have will be exactly where they've left it. Great.
And I think the irony is that, like, switching, like, Microsoft was technically in more of a position to completely overhaul it. Like, I spent money on the PlayStation 4 UI. I bought themes. I bought avatars. That money's gone now. Yeah. Like, they don't carry across to the PlayStation 5. So I feel like people should be wanting the UI to remain consistent for that reason alone. Like, it's just another example of a company that doesn't give a shit about your money. Yeah. Like, your spent money. They don't respect your money. Like, I don't understand why people continue to make excuses for companies that take a dump on your money.
Yeah.
Like, surely smartphones, we've had smartphones now for 13 years. Like,
has it been that
surely smartphones have taught us now that, you get new hardware, and you know what? We'll refresh our... Like, Apple always does it. Apple aligns iOS releases, major iOS releases, with new phone releases. And that's now what Microsoft's doing. They've just done a major UI refresh just before the new hardware has launched. And Apple has literally just done the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Surely we are used to that now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I like the UI now. I like what it does. I like everything it has. I'm curious about a couple of Microsoft's decisions. Like, they had, I think it was either a company at Rare or a team within Rare redid all of the new Xbox avatars. They made this big hoo-ha. We're bringing them back.
That was weird.
But then they're still there. They're still there.
They do nothing with them.
But they serve no purpose.
Like, you can spend money on them. There's a marketplace for stuff. But, like, what are they there for? Is there a new Kingdom for Kevin's game coming?
Hey, they haven't gotten rid of them. They've respected your money that you've spent on them. And you can still use your 360 one.
Yeah, you can still transfer to your old avatar.
This is what I keep saying. Support the companies that respect your money. Forget who it is, whether it's Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, EA, whoever it is. If a company respects your money, that is the company you should be rooting for.
Yeah.
In terms of, hey, I'm going to reward these guys by giving them more of my money because they respect my money.
Yeah.
Like now, if Sony ends up introducing themes on the PS5, because again, we don't know. We don't know if the PS5 has themes. At first glance, it looks like it doesn't. But if Sony ends up introducing themes that they charge for on PS5, there is no way known I'll be spending any money. Why would I? So I spent money on themes on the PS3. They were not supported on PS4. I spent money on themes on the PS4. They are not supported on PS5. I am the idiot if I keep spending money on themes on PS5. I'm the moron because Sony have already twice demonstrated that they don't give a rat's ass that I've spent money on themes on their consoles. So guess what? From here on out, I will never spend money on a theme on PlayStation ever again. Why would I?
Yeah, I can't disagree, mate. I can't disagree. I'd say for small micro purchases like that, it's it's up to the user. If they want their dash to look cool for 7 years, more power to them. But I get the position of the argument, about respecting you as a consumer, and I think that's a pertinent one to have.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject, and I'm very cautious because we are an Xbox podcast, but look, we're talking about the industry as a whole. There was one other small PlayStation nugget here, and it is a big mountain out of a molehill because, all companies, me speaking right now...
are you going to be talking about the moderation stuff for party chat?
Yeah, like...
The recording your voice chat?
People freaked out. Interestingly, when... Again, more parallels to that 2013 launch. Kinect's watching me. Here's a Kinect clip that you can put over your camera. It's going to see you naked playing Fortnite.
Microsoft's recording me in my underwear playing games. They're going to send it to the NSA.
Right? But all of this is that Sony allow users to send clips of verbal abuse to be moderated by their enforcement team.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Honestly, I get there's a fine line here, but again, I feel like I need to say this a lot.
The thing that gets me with it.
Go on.
The thing that gets me with it is I am not jealous of the people who are going to go through those voice clips because they're probably going to get thousands of thousands each day.
Yeah.
So many.
And some of them will have some of the most heinous crap you will ever hear. Yeah. And they have to sit through it all and make a judgment call. And it's going to suck.
It'll be like a 2004 Halo 2 lobby.
Sony is not going to pay those guys. Sony is not going to pay them for mental health costs, is not going to pay them extra money to put up with all this crap. They are going to be either minimum wage or slightly above that workers, and they're going to be forced to have to listen to it all.
Lucky them.
I do not envy anyone on that job at all.
Having said that, I'd like to believe that now that people know that Sony will be recording their voice clips, maybe it'll deter a lot of it anyway. Maybe. I'd like to think.
You have way more faith in humanity than I do, my friend.
Another thing about all the privacy concerns that people keep raising with, they can record your voice chats. That's against my privacy. Dude, it's their platform. It's not end-to-end encrypted. Anyone can snoop into your calls if they really wanted to. This has never not been a thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you use it, if you're so concerned about your privacy, did you put your credit card account on your credit card number on your PlayStation account, Mr. Privacy? Did you put your real name and your billing address on that, Mr. Privacy? Did you?
You could go. You could go on. I mean, I would also say that anyone concerned about this, show of hands, how many of us have a Google Home or an Alexa in our home?
I do now. I never used to. My parents got one for my daughter.
Right. Yeah. Have you ever listened to because you can listen to your recordings. You can go in and listen to them. Like.
What, you think this isn't listening?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you honestly think this isn't listening?
So
the number of times I've said
Phil's on Nick's phone just to make sure he's not leaking the next big Microsoft exclusive.
The number of times I have said something just in passing, and then I start seeing ads for it on like Instagram, and where come on, like these things.
It feels weird, doesn't it? But it's the world we live in.
Like, let's be honest.
It is strange.
But I don't know. The things they're complaining about, everyone's not talking about the far bigger issue, which maybe not for me. Like I reckon I've used party chat on PlayStation maybe 3 times in 14 years, because PlayStation 3 had it. So across PS3, PS4, I reckon I've used party chat on PlayStation maybe 3 times. But the fact that they have now made party chat more work, I think, is the bigger issue. So the latest update, you can't just start a party now like you can on Xbox, and you could on PlayStation prior to this update. You could just start a party and have a party chat. Now you have to create a group.
What?
And then have the party chat from within that group.
Well,
so you have to create the group first.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Really...
They're basically making it into like impromptu tiny Discord servers, essentially.
There's
going to be a single text chat channel for everyone. You have to invite people explicitly to it, and then there'll be a voice chat channel, separate but added on to the group. And
2013
honestly,
reversed.
I don't want. If you're just gonna do that, just put Discord on the freaking console and leave it like that.
The way they did it, and the funny thing is,
Discord's voice chat, because the voice codec is much better than whatever Sony has cooking for PlayStation.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, I wish.
And the funny thing is, there was actually people from Microsoft that commented on this on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw.
I saw it on Twitter. They said, you know what? Even at Xbox, we discussed doing it this way.
Yeah, but we said no.
They did it for a while. They didn't force it down your throat. They still had regular party chat, but for a while, if you made a group text, like a text group chat on Xbox, it would have a voice chat channel that you can join. But they removed that ability a few months ago. So
they did it because it just in the end it made things clunkier.
It made things complicated.
Like why? Like
it's more complicated than just putting party chat on dedicated servers, because that's the reason why we used the voice chat channels, was because all of them were on dedicated servers, so all of us could consistently connect to it if someone was having a peer-to-peer issue.
Yeah.
And I think since a while ago they've updated party chat on Xbox. I could be completely wrong, but the quality on party chat and disconnections and stuff like that has basically gone away since what I assume they did is upgrade party chat infrastructure to all be on dedicated servers instead of...
It's just a bit of lag, that's all.
The host.
Yeah, there is some lag on it, though.
It's still not as good as Discord, but it is better than it was.
There's legit lag. Like, I play Rocket League, like daily.
But I would rather deal with the lag than if someone has a strict NAT type one day because someone in their family is watching something on Netflix. Now they can't connect the party chat at all.
Yeah. There's all sorts of oddities like that. Even
there's just no way.
On PC, there's a thing where it tells you the status of Xbox, and it tells that it can't connect to the Teredo something, and it's like you have to go through a bunch of loopholes to fix it. I'm just like, what is this? It's all very interesting, and again, there's just all sorts of parallels to 7 years ago for me. This launch, we keep saying it, and it really does. Just PR hoo-has and missteps and snafus, but it'll all come out in the wash, guys.
Having said that, it looks like they did sort out their backwards compatibility.
Yes.
Like I had been told quite a while ago that backwards compatibility might be a bit of a mess come PS5 launch. Like I got told that it might be spotty as hell. But that was a long time ago. So it looks like in the subsequent months, like 6 months or more, that I got told that they've been working hard to make sure.
Yeah, that's good.
It works.
That's good.
So it looks like that 99% thing might actually hold up. Having said that, there was a decent list of caveats with that.
Yeah, might have some bugs.
Yeah, like if you bought DLC on a PS4 game, make sure you run the game first, make sure that's okay before there's some weird DLC thing, and
a few caveats there just to give him some protection. But it is what it is. At least it seems to be mostly there.
I was about to say, like, I feel much better about my PS5 purchase now, and because I was hesitant to get rid of my Pro for a while there, But now that I know that I'm 99.9% sure my PS4 library will be there working day one, then I'm just going to use my PS5 as a giant, ugly, oversized PS4. And that's fine.
Yeah. So, Another interesting piece of news, I think, dropped yesterday, which was a pretty good interview from Kotaku.
A pretty comprehensive interview too. Like that was a really broad range interview.
Tortillo.
Yeah. Via Kotaku with the ex-boss himself, Phil Spencer. Lots of interesting nuggets in there, but I think the one that everybody and their dog focused on was the specific quote regarding the ZeniMax acquisition and Bethesda. And I think it's important to frame this, and I don't know if any of you guys have a copy of the actual quote to hand. I can look one up quickly, but
I've got the article up in front of me, and I'm just trying to find it.
So, but if you read the quote out, I mean, I've got some thoughts on this, but what was the full quote when he was asked the question?
So he's got here, he was asking about the acquisition and stuff like that, and he asked, "Is it possible to recoup a $7.5 billion investment if you don't sell Elder Scrolls 6 on the PlayStation?" And Phil said, "Yes." Spencer quickly replied. Then he paused. "I don't want to be flip about that," he added. "This deal was not done to take away games from another player base like that." Now, I've seen on Twitter some people saying, "Isn't that exactly what they're doing?" Yes. But what he is saying there, they didn't make this Bethesda deal with the intent to, I'm trying to frame it in the right way. So it's not like Phil thought to himself, we need to find a way to remove games from PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's
not why he did it.
So that's what he's saying when he says this deal was not done to take away games from another player base, as in that wasn't the impetus behind the deal.
Yeah.
The impetus behind the deal was we want to bolster our first party. We want to make Game Pass Netflix. We want to improve the what's the word I'm after? We want to make the Xbox ecosystem more attractive.
Yeah.
That was the impetus behind the deal. Now, a side effect of that is that, yes, future games are going to be on PlayStation, but that wasn't the impetus of the deal.
Yeah. And he's also saying there as well that they don't need to release them on the other platforms to recoup the investment. They are comfortable.
Of course they don't.
Because, absolutely. Because, and I've seen this argued out. I've seen it in media. I watched a pretty good Eurogamer discussion earlier today, which was interesting. You should go check it out. I think it's in one of their articles on their website. But they just, I think there was a hilarious segment in it, by the way, if you do go and watch it, where they try and do the maths of what's 70 times 10 million.
Yeah. Well, we kind of talked about it on the episode with Tom Warren.
Exactly.
Like we said, how many subscribers do it? Like when he said we don't need to sell games on PlayStation to recoup the cost, that's true. But it just depends how long they want to take to recoup the cost. So if Microsoft can obviously choose to continue to release Bethesda games on PlayStation and make the money back a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Because they sell more.
Don't mind me. I'm
games.
actually multiplying 70 by 10 million right now.
But as we said on our last episode, we estimate, we think Microsoft probably needs 50 million Game Pass subscribers to make that money back in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
If we're doing a direct, Game Pass needs to pay for 7.5 billion. Like if that's how we're going to frame it, then they probably need about 50 million subscribers plus to get that money back in a few years' time.
Yeah. But I mean, with the trajectory they're going on, it's already rumored that their reported figures are much lower than their actual figures.
Yeah, we said that they're probably close to 20 right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So the future isn't far away from when recouping $7.5 billion is going to be an easy thing.
And this is the thing. You can't just say Game Pass has to pay for that 7.5 billion.
Yeah, it's not a direct thing.
That's right. It's not a direct thing. Like, everyone keeps forgetting you can still buy games even if you are a Game Pass subscriber. You can still buy games. I bought Devil May Cry 5 while it was on Game Pass. I bought Doom Eternal just before it came to Game Pass, but like, I mean, look, deep down, I knew it was coming to Game Pass, and I still bought it anyway. Like, because again, I, like a lot of other people, like to own my games too.
Yep.
That's why Game Pass is so.
And most
good.
people do. Most people do. Game Pass is just the gateway drug to trying out so many
That's
more
right.
games that you would have been able to afford, like by yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
So stop thinking that Game Pass has to pay for the Bethesda acquisition, because the Bethesda acquisition does other things. There are people who are going to buy an Xbox console because of Bethesda's games being exclusive. Guess what those people are also going to do? They're going to sub to either Gold or Game Pass. They're going to buy controllers. They're going to buy games. They're going to buy... Like, it's not just about Game Pass directly paying for this purchase, this acquisition. Like, there's other ways it's going to get paid for, and that's why you're not going to see those games on PlayStation consoles in the future.
There is a lot of denial, of twisting of words, of loopholes, and all sorts of things. What I find most hilarious about this is I think this is why, we mentioned earlier about games on Switch, and I think we mentioned it in the last podcast. If Sony had made this acquisition, there would be zero doubt.
Yep.
Zero. No one would be going, I wonder if they're still going to release on Xbox. Of course they're not. Right?
That's right.
But because Microsoft, because the PC is part of their platform, they have xCloud as part of their platform, and because they've done deals with non-first-party studios, particularly Moon with Ori, Cuphead, Studio MDHR, and obviously Minecraft. There was the other big gaming acquisition several years ago. And because Minecraft was already a platform and they said, no, it's not fair to suddenly take that away. But we're not saying that, Microsoft are going to take away Elder Scrolls Online. Because it's currently out on PlayStation. You can play it right now. They're not going to suddenly turn that off at the Switch. Haha, it's ours now. No, existing
They're
platforms...
not going to turn off a mod store on PlayStation 4 for Skyrim.
Absolutely. But you can guarantee you that Starfield, a game that will push Game Pass subscribers, push console sales, and make people want to pick one up because, sorry folks, you can't play it anywhere else. They're not going to... Yeah, you can buy it on PlayStation. Don't worry about coming into our ecosystem. We don't need your money. It's fine. In fact, let Sony have 30% of the cut. No worries. It's not happening. And I don't understand the mentality that people have. Yeah. Like,
get over it, people.
It's just suck it up. All right. It's
the next Doom. It's gonna be exclusive.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein 3.
To be fair to at least some of those people that are more. To be fair to some of those people that we know, because there do exist people that are genuinely confused by it who aren't concerned.
Of course,
trolling.
yeah. And I'd say anyone non-enthusiast.
To be fair to them, Microsoft has had some very confusing mixed messaging at times when it comes to generations, consoles, their PC strategy, their mobile strategy. They still insist on Xbox Play Anywhere when you can't play anywhere that doesn't have an Xbox app. So, so I can see how some people could be genuinely confused, but I don't know. So the concern trolls,
we've said it before. They're going to honor the contracts. So Deathloop
and that's it.
Come out timed exclusive on PS5, and so will that Ghostwire Tokyo. That's it. Going forward, post these deals that have been put in place, stop hoping for these games to come out on PlayStation, because they're not. I reckon you may get the odd Switch port here and there where it's logistically possible.
Yeah.
I think you might. Like,
I don't know.
I didn't play Doom on Switch. Was it any good? Was it horrible? Was it?
I heard it was a pretty modern miracle in terms of programming. And
it was a modern miracle. It didn't run all that well at launch. The patch about a month later fixed it. It still only runs at a locked 30 FPS, which does not feel good for a Doom game. But I mean, it runs
fast. Because that game is fast.
Yeah, it is
fast. So 30 FPS wouldn't be fun.
No.
Like it's like I played
multiplayer was okay. The thing that sucks is I bought it for the multiplayer because there's basically barely any multiplayer shooters on Switch right now. Yeah. So I bought it for the multiplayer because I heard people will play it. It's on Switch. People will get back into it. Oh my God! Even day one, multiplayer in Doom was dead. Yeah. It's so hard finding a match in that game.
I think.
Yeah, I originally bought the 2016 Doom on PS4, and the multiplayer was fairly populated. I haven't been on for a long time now, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I play Fortnite on Switch every now and again, and 30 FPS there is doable because it's not a fast game. But like Doom and Doom Eternal are fast. They are just movement speed, the action, everything is fast.
They make me feel old,
imagine. Yeah, I cannot imagine that being fun on Switch. So I think you'll get Switch ports where it makes sense.
But even then, he's been public. I think it was a recent interview, and I've said this on either the podcast before or the one before that. I think he said something of, I think we need to reset some expectations here, all right? Because I think he said, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm sick of seeing every time, a little game and people say, oh, this would be perfect on Switch. People just automatically assume that we're going to publish it to Switch. And he says, I want to kind of get away from that because the cases where they've very publicly said it was either a third-party deal and they came to us with the idea and said, we want to do this and we love video games, so we said yes. But, he kind of put that one to bed, I think, and he did that very publicly.
I know, but
I know things change, but
I've said this before. I feel they should try and turn the Switch into a portable Xbox.
Well, like if xCloud comes to Switch, then it's a different kettle of fish, right?
Like I still think they should try and make the Switch an unofficial/official part of the Xbox ecosystem so they can have a portable console that they don't have to make themselves.
But the problem with that is then you're asking developers to release on we've already seen it, I think, in the same interview with Kotaku. He said, and again, people leapt on this like it was some sort of victory. About this stems back to Series S holding things back, right? And the argument was no, of course it won't. They already have to cater for a multitude of devices on PC, which is where all the Xbox teams develop for as well anyway. But then he said in the interview, of course it's extra work. We're not shying away from that. Yes, it is, and no one who's argued that it's not holding the gen back.
No one said it wouldn't be extra work.
They're just saying that it's not this grand thing. They already have to cater for millions of possibilities of hardware on a PC space. What's one more fixed spec? In the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to tools.
The issue is the holding back.
Yeah.
The issue is the holding back. So if they have to develop for the the Series S in mind, then it means that the Series X can't fully flex its muscles.
Which is nonsense.
That's the crux of the issue. And look, I'm sure there's an element of that to it. Like
Here's the other thing.
Physically, there has to be. Like, it's just, I guess, the extent to which that's the case.
Yeah.
Because in the end, you still, even with the Series S, you still have an SSD baseline. You still have
same CPU.
An RDNA2 GPU baseline. You still have the Ryzen CPU baseline. So, I
think people need to understand that not every third-party developer is Rockstar. A lot of them don't push the hardware, even up to the end of the generation. A lot of them rely on minor incremental changes that they can get away with in a fixed budget and a fixed timeline to get their game out on a specific day. And I think that will continue well into the next generation, even if there's a min spec and a max spec.
Yeah.
I think the only developers you'll see that will really push the hardware is always going to be first party.
Yep.
And first party is going to be fine pushing Series X and Series S. They'll have as many resources and time available to them as Microsoft can give to them. But people saying, oh, the Series S is going to hold back games. It won't. I don't think it'll hold back first party games. And third-party games, I mean, the only developer I would be concerned about holding back is Rockstar. But Rockstar releases one game in a blue moon.
Technically, it would hold back first-party games more, technically, if anything. Because third parties are already developing for way more platforms than first parties are. So if anything, it would actually hold back first party more. So my argument would be that the people that are going to get held back the most would be like an indie dev who is making an Xbox ecosystem exclusive. So someone like Thomas, who's making the Falconeer. I would argue that if anyone is going to be held back the most, it would be someone like Thomas. And if Thomas doesn't have a huge issue with it, not really sure anyone else should.
Yeah,
have a massive issue.
I think Thomas said we did for those that perhaps haven't watched it, it's on the YouTube channel. We did a really, really fun live stream with Thomas Sala, developer for the Falconeer. We played through the limited time beta on Steam in super ultra wide to have a look at the game, talk about the systems, talk about the design. And I think he said he loves the hardware, the Series S hardware. He really, really loves it. He thinks it's a neat little box. And this is the thing, when you're seeing, I think the question here is not about holding back or, work required. It's a question of scope, right? If you're seeing the Switch, which I think this week was announced as the 22, I think it's broken the record, the 360 set for the best-selling console in North America for 22 weeks running.
22 months straight.
It's a mobile chipset, folks. It's not even 4K.
Yeah.
Right? It's 720p most of the time because most people play it handheld. If that is doing those gangbusters, people need to understand this is not about holding back or extra work. It's about scope. If a developer has an idea for a game that can only be met with a 24 teraflop GPU, the 3090 in their PC, the top of the range Core i12 or whatever, then it's going to be held back on the Series S. But then they won't develop for just the top end spec because then only 10 people would buy the damn thing. There is a market that game makers, they're making art, yes, but they're making a product for you to buy and enjoy, and they're not going to limit themselves because of preference. They'll go where the money is. And again, in that interview, Phil said, I expect Series S to sell the most units. And I saw articles reacting like this was some sort of bombshell. You mean the cheaper, more affordable HD, which is what most people have in the world in terms of TV screen still, because 4K hasn't proliferated throughout the market yet, is going to sell more? I'm shocked. Of course it's going to sell more. It's only 250 quid. I just...
The 1S sells more than the 1X.
Well, I don't understand why that was a sudden, reckoning for people. Sorry, minor rant.
I was about to say something, and I can't remember what it was anymore. But I think... Oh, yeah, that's right. Games aren't going to be... I feel like sometimes people think that when they have this concept of games being held back by the Series S, they're thinking that this grandiose masterpiece on the Series X is going to look like 8-bit pixel 2D side scroller on the Series S, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's not going to be held back because even at that, even with the lower tier of power at 1080p for the Series S, that's still a lot of horses that game developers can just run with. They have so much headroom to create something that matches their vision, especially since that's the only thing they're limited is going to be resolution. Like, SSD's the same.
That's why
the CPU's the same.
That's what I mean. The core baseline stuff is the same. The CPU, the GPU technology is still RDNA 2. It's still the same SSD.
Yep.
Like, yes, there has to be an element of holding back. There has to be. Like, it's impossible for there not to be. It's just the amount that's going to vary. Like, people are acting like, so look at The Last of Us 2 on PS4. Like, I don't see a lot of complaints about people saying, well, the PS4 held back Naughty Dog. Why they released it the same year they're releasing the PS5? Why didn't they just go full-blown PS5 version? The PS4 held it back. it could have looked so much better on PS5.
Oh, it will.
People are still pretty happy with how Last of Us 2 looked.
They'll charge you for the remaster.
But
look,
we could 60
and your save file won't come across either.
Yeah, well, look, we could probably rant a little bit about that. Some other nuggets from that interview were suggestions of xCloud as a unit coming to the original Xbox One, One S, One X, which obviously would be great.
We've spoken about that before.
We suggested it before, and he kind of said, "Yeah, we're looking at it. It's doable," which is fine. The other bit of news that came out this week was the same point PlayStation showed off the UI. Microsoft released their list of day one games optimized for Series X and S.
With no surprises.
No surprises really there.
I feel like we knew all that.
Yeah, I think so. I
feel
think
like
the biggest,
maybe it's my imagination.
The biggest surprise for me, as I said at the beginning, was, and indeed, I think in the original embargoed list that was sent to the press, it wasn't on there. But then when they made the Xbox Wire article, Sea of Thieves suddenly was. I was a very, very happy man. But yeah, it's looking good. It's looking really, really good, and it's a bit of an odd launch. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people are focusing on, in that there is no big first-party driven title. You know, the hole that Halo has left from its delay is keenly felt. But in 6 months' time, it's not going to matter. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to diving into games where I've stopped because of performance issues, which have been plentiful, where they've had patches. I'm looking forward to being able to play games at the level of a PC. And I think, reading articles from Jeffrey Grubb, from Eurogamer, I think one of their guys has been living with it, from Tom Warren himself. This is having, it's like getting a new GPU and putting it in my rig. This is the gaming that I love at a fidelity and performance level that feels good to play again. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really fun launch.
Sea of Thieves at 60 FPS on console is going to be great.
I can't wait. I'm going to dominate.
I might start Destiny 2 when that patch comes.
Yeah, that's a little bit later on, right? December 8th.
I've got Doom Eternal waiting.
So
I'll
many
go
good
back
things.
to Ori.
So many good things.
Start Gears Tactics properly. Mate, I've got no issue. That's fine.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. So, check out XboxEra.com. We have the list on there, or Xbox Wire if you're feeling so inclined. But no surprises. Just a solid list of titles. Certainly Falconeer for me. Definitely a day one that I'll be enjoying. Whether I can tear myself away from ultra wide on the PC though, because it was very pretty.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing. The Series X2 should probably support is ultra wide monitors.
I'd love to see console support for ultra wide, but
it'd
again,
be cool.
It's more work for the developers.
Yeah, it is. But it'd be cool.
Don't you also need sort of the GPU power to do it?
The equivalent, this monitor is only 1080p, but it's 3840 by 1080, right? So it's the equivalent of two 1080p monitors. So it's about the same as driving a 1440p screen in terms of real estate and pixels, right?
So if you extrapolate that out, once 1440p ultra wide monitors become a thing, you need a card capable of 4K in order to get that thing driving.
And around you go. So it's doable, but then you get into. And it is more work for developers in terms of cutscenes. Typically on ultra wide games, the cutscenes are clipped in 16:9, and you've got big black bars, and it's only really the gameplay where you benefit. But that's all that really matters to me, is the gameplay. So it's definitely interesting. I don't believe, Mr. Shpeshal Ed, that we have a rumor mill this week. So without
not one that I can talk about yet.
Without further
ado,
the community questions, I guess.
You know what? I'm going to take a gamble here.
Oh.
And I'm going to... No. I'm not... There's no rumor... But, so there is... there's something that will be coming up soon that I've been told I'll be able to say soon. And I don't want to. A part of me doesn't want to mention it. And another part of me does. But I'm waiting for some more confirmation before I go with it. You know, there's something that gets brought up a lot when I talk, a particular game, and it gets brought up a lot with me, and it's something that I
Elden Ring.
It's something that I'm hoping for some redemption on.
Really? Because honestly, you couldn't get enough of the people complaining to you about it on Twitter.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for some redemption on that one soon, but I'm waiting. You know, because some horrible people say some horrible things about me because of that stupid game.
Well, that's a very interesting little nugget there. Apparently, yeah, we just made that up for clicks again.
Yeah.
How dare you,
Huge? I expect my block on Twitter any moment now. I'm the only one that didn't get blocked. Everyone else got blocked. Why don't I get blocked, huh?
I got blocked. I got blocked because I tagged him directly. Yeah. So just before the July Xbox show, I told people to maybe mute him to avoid spoilers for the show.
Because he'll leak it 2 minutes before it launches.
Yeah, and so I then deleted that tweet because I felt a little bit bad, even though it was clearly a joke.
Yeah.
I told people to maybe mute him just for a little bit so he doesn't spoil the show. He blocked me and then proceeded to spoil the show.
Go figure.
So I wasn't exactly wrong.
Yeah,
in my advice.
I don't know.
Okay, can I just say one thing quickly for a second?
Sure.
You build your career on speculation and educated guesses, and the only way your career survives is if people trust you on those on that speculation and those educated guesses.
True.
Right? And you do a very hard job of trying to maintain a level of not authenticity, but correctness or adherence to some degree of truth, right?
Well, no, he does have sources. It's not
God, he knows his shit.
He does have sources. I'm not saying no. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He tries very hard to be as accurate as he can be because his entire job depends on being as accurate as he can with his educated guesses. I'm saying educated guesses because that's what they are. They're educated because he knows something about it. He's heard something about it. But as far as anyone can tell, it's just a guess, right? Because we don't know what's actually going to happen. We don't know what's actually going to happen until it happens.
Just a caveat, I think he's referring to his analyst role, not necessarily the stuff where he's directly told this is launching. Analyst? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And when he lashed out at us a few weeks ago about that whole debacle with incorrect reporting of our own article, it felt a lot like a man who was very scared because someone who didn't have his background was trying to pretend they knew a little bit about his job, and he felt threatened because of that. That's what I think happened. Now, I don't care what the hell he thinks because we didn't do anything wrong. I think the only wrong thing we did was probably the tweet probably shouldn't have been worded the way that was broadcasting that article. That was about it. The article is pretty clear on we don't know what the hell's happening. This is just us guessing.
I don't have any problem with.
I don't have any problem with him as a person. I just think he came off a little bit too strong because he's in a role where he feels he needs to defend his ability to make those analytical decisions.
To be fair, right? So there's a couple of things here, and we covered this podcast previous, but the only comment I'll say, since we're directly discussing it, is that article went as wide and as far as to make the CEO of Bungie have to respond again. And the reason that happened is despite, and this is what bugs me, and I've had feedback on it and I take it all on board and I take it to heart, is that we found some curious and interesting information that tallied up. And we were pretty upfront about it and said we don't know if this is accurate. We think there could be something going on. It ties into an already existing rumor right? And we just said we thought it was curious. We thought they were real. That's what we said, and and we still to this point stand by that, as do many other sourced journalists. Okay, the problem that I think stemmed from it is that other publications took our article and ran it as fact, right? They didn't read past the headline. They didn't read past the opening sentences, and some of that's on us.
They do what the regular members on Era do whenever they see an explosive headline in the red list.
Some of that is on us in that, yes, the initial tweet was perhaps could have been worded better, or certainly more ambiguously and less definitively.
Yeah.
And the nugget of actual information probably could have been laid out better in the article. Where I took umbrage with that tweet, and this is where I'm saying, to be fair to him, he did delete it, because I feel he probably realised that the tweet in question stepped over a mark or a line. Was that
was a bit of salt to
it. He said that it was a bad faith article, and that's what annoyed me, because just like anyone watching this podcast, all right, we are not Zed Huge, we are not Tom Warren. We're not journalists that have been in the field for 20 years. What we are...
Or analysts working at big firms.
What we are is genuine fans of video games in general, not just Xbox. That's our preferred platform. We make no... we don't avoid displaying that. It's the clues in the name, right? But it was the fact that it was being garnered for clicks or attention or ad revenue. We don't get any. All right, and I, that's really important to make clear. Is we found some information. I would have argued if that had been a forum post on the XboxEra forums and we'd have just tweeted a link to it, the uproar would have been exactly the same, but with less focus on us as a publication. So, learning lesson for us, and as the guy who runs it, overall next to Ed and the rest of the admin team. Yeah, okay, we've learned that lesson, but we still stand by what we originally said. We had no idea it was interesting. It certainly was. There was lots of interesting videos about it. I just think that tweet overstepped the line a little bit, but I'm glad he deleted it because it was a little bit unfair.
And I want to apologize for bringing this up again. I know some of our viewers probably just don't really want to hear it, and I know Ed and John don't want to have to mention it ever again. It was just something that came up on my mind.
Yeah.
So
community questions now. First of all, we obviously have to hit our wonderful patrons. I would press the button right now that clicks into the patron screenshot, but like a complete doofus, I forgot to put it in there, so I am not going to. I'm just going to read your names out. Maybe I'll edit it in afterwards, but a big thank you to the Scarecrow121, Torn Raptor, Shadowgasm, Sowing Shade, Blaster Base, KP, and Somnia82. Your support is appreciated, as is all of our patrons, but those guys are the real MVPs. And yeah, thank you very much. So we'll deal with their questions first via our patron, Ed. Yep. I believe you've got them up in front of you.
Yeah. Scarecrow121. So, question one, because he's got a couple. With plans moving ahead quickly for both Sony and Microsoft in launch, do you think there is the likelihood of bigger pre-launch video streams with announcements coming to help build a final case for which console people want? Well, I mean, Sony just showed their UI.
I would expect a couple more big live stream events or videos in the next couple weeks. Certainly, especially as we're getting closer to launch.
Microsoft
mentioned FanFest, didn't they? Yeah, they did mention FanFest. I've been hearing, and don't take my word for it because I just heard it on a grapevine, that Xbox at least might be getting a second wave of units for pre-order at some point. I saw Amazon had some more stock, I think, like a week ago. So
EB Australia got some more.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the retailer I pre-ordered through gets some more, because I was very upset to get that text message saying you're not going to get a Series X day one.
Oof.
Yeah. I've been hearing up the grapevine that there's probably going to be a shipment a new allocation. So
yeah,
that's going to be nice to hear, and it'll probably align with a new video or a new live stream saying, hey, keep pre-ordering the console. So
I would also
expect the same thing of PlayStation.
There'll be at least smaller stuff. I don't know if there'll be any big.
Well,
not big
like anything,
but live stream events, fan fest, probably. Yeah.
So on that note, obviously they announced FanFest, and I know in advance. Obviously, there's a bunch of questions on Twitter that we can kind of do a catch-all here for. In that Xbox Mexico announced a surprise event for November 9th, which is obviously the day before launch. Now, the last couple of years we've had EXO 18, 19, and 20, I think.
Around November.
November, so obviously they would have probably been planning one in a location with a fan fest like they did in London, which I attended. I would imagine they'll do something along those lines. Now, I don't know what Xbox Mexico have got to announce. I've not heard anything directly through the folks I know, but when we all know, we'll know. But I would definitely imagine there'll be a big celebration. I would also not be surprised to see a few more cards that Microsoft may have kept out of their previous live shows in May and in July. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more game announcements from first party at an event.
Still waiting for them to drop that gold requirement.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Still holding out hope for it.
Okay, what have we got next?
He's got another question.
Shoot.
Unless, I shouldn't say less serious, but like he's just saying, how good did the exclusive Xbox Era shirt look on me? So yeah, a lot of our patrons have been getting their merchandise, the T-shirts, the stickers, really, and all that sort of stuff. I know. Blast the Bass.
Hey John, where's my coffee mug, huh?
Do you know? It's interesting. I've had multiple members of the team sort of say, "I really want a T-shirt. Can I have one, please?"
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting one.
Yeah, so we'll work something out, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Speaking of Blast the Bass, I saw a photo of him in the T-shirt. Looks good. So he asks, what's the first game you're playing on your next-gen console? Rocket League. I'm playing Rocket League straight away. For me, it's going to be all old stuff. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I'll probably dip into Falconeer and Tactics as well, because I started on PC, but I haven't really pushed any further, so I'll probably pick up Tactics. But yeah, I plan on going back and playing a lot of that optimized stuff and stuff that I've avoided because of ridiculous load times, like Recall. I mean, even Forza Horizon 4. Like, I'm really glad that's been optimized, because the load times on Forza Horizon 4 aren't great.
No, they're not.
Like,
they hide them,
full on.
It's still just loading.
Definitely. Yeah, so I plan on going back to a lot of stuff that, even stuff that's not optimized, just because it's running off the SSD and getting significantly improved load times. But that's just me.
I'm not sure yet.
I think the first game I'd probably play would probably be Modern Warfare.
I'm not sure yet.
And not even off the SSD, just off the hard drive, because I'm not putting 205 gigs of a game on my freaking SSD and take up all that space. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I hope part of the optimization,
especially for a game that's not going to get an update for optimization.
Yeah.
Why don't you just buy one of those 1 terabyte cards just for Modern Warfare?
You want to give me the $230 required for that, or no?
No, I've given you enough money.
Well, I'm not quite sure how to answer what I'm going to be playing yet, because I honestly haven't given it a lot of thought. Launch days for me usually are dipping my toes into anything new that catches my eye, but I'll answer that question probably closer to launch, I think, with some more definitive thoughts.
Falconeer?
Definitely the Falconeer, but yeah, we'll see.
Ori, I want to jump back into Ori at 4K 120.
No, well, I don't think it's 4K 120, is it? Is it 4K?
I just said 4K 120.
Is it 4K 120?
Yeah.
Damn, that's good. That's some good
I'm
stuff.
pretty sure. I'm almost 100% sure it's 4K 120.
Very impressive.
Thinking about the storage size of Modern Warfare just got me thinking again. Didn't they say like, oh, because of the SSD and how fast we can load things, games should be decreasing in size? How much do you want to bet? Like the next Call of Duty will be 400 gigabytes.
No, they said, like I've said before, that game sizes should stay around the same size or shrink, because not the sole, but one of the reasons for games being as big as they are is asset duplication. So to help speed up load times, they duplicate a lot of the assets. That shouldn't be happening anymore on the newer games. So games should, on average, stay a similar size or get smaller. Like I think in the interview with Kotaku, Phil said that I think Sea of Thieves is being shrunk by 20 gig.
Yeah, that's significant.
With the optimization, like that, and a lot of that would be asset duplication. Like that's what a lot of that reduction would be.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's impressive. I like it. More of that,
please. What's the Sea of Thieves at right now? 60 gigs?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
But you're still going to get 100 gig games. No one's saying you're not going to get 100 gig games or whatever the case may be. It's just like Sea of Thieves is being shrunk by 20 gig. You're going to get a lot of other games that are going to shrink because of that.
Yeah.
45.1 gigabytes.
That's pretty good.
Well,
it's a big
game. If they shrunk it by 20, then it's going to drop to 20.
It's going to drop to 25.1 gigabytes.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
All right. The last question from the Patreon is very quick and easy. What orientation will you set your Series X? Standing proud or laying down?
Standing proud.
Standing proud.
Really?
I'm not going to lay that thing down.
I have to have the sad, ugly lying down. Unfortunately.
Ew, disgusting.
I'd love to have it standing up, and that's why I wanted the 48-inch OLED because
my thing with like lying it down is like if you're lying it down, I assume you're putting into like a TV console cubby, right?
No.
Or are you laying it down in open air?
Mine's open air.
Okay, cool. Because a lot of people, when I hear, oh, I'm going to be laying it down because I'm putting it inside a TV console, I'm like, all it's going to cause is a lot more ventilation problems because it's blowing the hot air to the side.
Did you see how IGN had it?
Oh, IGN, God, it was like awful.
Oh, they had where the vent was like that far away from.
Oh, no. It was disgusting. I'm like,
what are you doing?
And weren't they one of the ones complaining about how hot?
It was pretty hot. It's like, dirt, it's hot. You had the vent like 2 centimeters away from the wall. Like, of course it was hot.
They've detailed this. They've detailed how the ventilation system on the Series X works for months, and you still lay it down on its side in the smallest space possible, and they complain that it gets too hot. What are you even talking about?
And here's the thing, like, it's unfortunate that the stand can't be removed.
It is.
Because it's just another thing that looks dumb when it lies down.
It does.
But like the fact that the stand is there tells you that if you're going to lie it down, butt it up against the wall on the stand side.
Yeah.
To give that vent as much room as possible. Where IGN, clearly whoever had it set up has OCD and wanted it to be the same on either side so that it looks centered.
Yeah.
But nah, man. Move it right up against the left so that vent has as much room as possible to pump the hot air out. Like, it's physics 101, man. Like, it's not anything.
But, I'm standing my console up. There's no way I'm laying that thing down. I'm going to give it as much airflow and circulation as possible, and it is not going to get that airflow laying down.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Like I said, that's why I wanted the 48-inch OLED, because with the 48-inch OLED, I would have had enough room on either side to stand up both the PS5 and the Series X on either side of it. But
would you go with the 55-inch? Okay, 55.
No, not enough room. The 55-inch is not enough room. So I have to lie them both down, and I'm going to go and get my engineering degree for the PS5 stand to be able to lay that down. I don't know how quickly I can do that course, but man, did you see that video, that teardown video?
Yeah.
Did you see how much work is involved? Did you see?
Oh, but the stand is a marvel of engineering.
Oh my God!
In and of itself,
so much. I can't believe how much work is involved just to install the stand. Like, my God, seriously?
Yeah.
Someone stuffed up there.
The thing that baffles me is someone got a design and engineering degree to build the PS5. I want to know what school gave that degree out, because honestly, the person needs to go back there and get a new one.
Oh man,
it's wow.
We've talked about it. I mean, look, it is what it is. I think there's no getting away from it now. I think that was the last one from the Patreon, right?
Yeah, that was the last one.
So Twitter, before you dive into
burn
it.
Through Twitter.
So before you dive into it,
all...
I'm really upset. Twitter, anyone on Twitter right now, I'm upset because I had this really funny idea. It was funny to me. It was hilarious joke. I was going to take a clip from 2001: Space Odyssey with the monolith. And I spoke to our art guy, Pre-Drag, who did a wonderful job of putting the Series X monolith there instead. It looks really good.
Oh, so he did that.
He did that.
I was going to ask you how you did it.
I did a really crap version. I told him what I wanted, and he was like, yeah, let me tidy it up. And it looked great. And everyone's too young. Everyone's too young nowadays to get the hilarity of that. But fine.
They would be.
Fine. I'm just upset with you, Twitter, all right? Anyway, sorry, the questions, go.
I didn't think most people would get it.
Shocking.
Okay, so first question from @DigitalScientist.
Yes.
Emotive Notion.
A thoroughly decent fellow, I might add.
Yeah. Replies to a lot of stuff. Do you think there's any chance Xbox will be requiring another publisher now that we've seen them do so with Bethesda? I know additional studios are on the table, but I'm curious if Sega or Capcom, given their relationship with Xbox, might be on the docket. Doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think you'll see studios.
I know anything is on the table now because of Bethesda, but I don't think there's another publisher in the cards. I don't think.
I think it'll be studios now for further acquisitions.
Studios. Yeah, I don't think it'll be another publisher. Rithric Rao. Is XO 2020 or an equivalent digital event happening, and if so, before launch or after? Well, we just said. I don't think XO is happening. They would have announced it by now if XO was happening. It'll be that fan fest.
Yeah, it'll be a digital event of some kind, I think, but I haven't heard anything, apart from the Xbox Mexico rumor.
Okay, next couple of questions. It's all a lot of UI questions.
Let's not get him started, folks. Skip them.
At the reverse Lego. Is Xbox going to update the UI so I can just copy my game clips from the console to my external? Currently, that's not possible. We wouldn't know.
Yeah, sorry,
I
dude.
Don't know.
No idea
Sorry,
on that
mate.
front.
You can at least set the default save location to your external now, so any game clips you have from now until then will all be saved to the external.
Yeah, because I thought you could choose an external.
You can choose, but you can't copy them over.
Yeah.
You have to choose before they start being saved. Yeah.
At the LEDC. The LEDC. Do you think the Xbox UI? Do you think the Xbox will have a UI overhaul like the new store during the Series X lifespan?
Probably.
Because Microsoft always does that.
They can't not touch it, I think.
Yeah. So I'd be surprised if Microsoft felt comfortable with the UI for more than 15 minutes and wouldn't change it. They've always done it. Like they did it on 360, they did it on Xbox One. There's no reason to think they won't do it on Series X. Personally, I'd prefer they went the Sony and Nintendo approach. Once you've got something that works, stick with it and continually release
iterate on it.
Stability updates that keep it fast, keep it snappy, keep it reliable. I'd prefer they did it that way, personally. Like the UI we have now, I'm quite happy with its functionality and everything it can do and how it looks, aside from being a blurry mess and all that sort of stuff. I'm happy with that. I'd prefer they keep what they've got now and do minor tweaks and stability updates. But we know they will probably overhaul it.
Yeah.
They probably will because they always do.
I think the next question is really important and it's from a very clever person that's very sensible and
we covered
focused. This. Yeah, I know, but he messaged me before he posted it and said, should I ask this? And I was like, do it.
I'm happy. I am happy to rant again at this. So, Vinny...
No. Come on.
No, you've got to
read
it out.
Why is Shpeshal Ed so obsessed about the Xbox UI not running in 4K? As long as it's quick and easy to navigate, does it really matter? Yes, it does matter, Vin. It really does. It does matter that a 4K console running on a 4K TV, when Microsoft's mantra for the last 4 years...
Done,
so ever since the One X was teased as Project Scorpio... All Microsoft has gone on about is 4K, 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 power, 4K, 4K, 4K. That's so to have a 1080 dash is embarrassing.
What you've done.
And they should be embarrassed.
I hope you're happy with yourself.
Like, Come on, man. Come on.
Right. Come on,
I'm
next
not
question.
saying
Next
anything.
question.
It's ridiculous. Okay, at Jamie Lua. What is your new most anticipated studio that you expect great things from at Xbox Game Studios? We've spoken about this in the past, haven't we?
Yeah,
I think we have.
I mine probably changes day to day when I hear new rumors.
Nah, mine is still Ninja Theory.
Yours is still Ninja Theory? I think.
Yeah, I reckon they're going to be Microsoft's Naughty Dog.
I'm actually
Microsoft's equivalent.
I've heard some.
So before people say that Shpeshal Ed said that Ninja Theory is as good as Naughty Dog, no, I didn't. I said they'll be Microsoft's equivalent.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Playground Games RPG team. I'm really excited about what they're making.
Obsidian with Avowed.
Yeah,
that game looks that. I mean, we only saw a CGI trailer, but
it's Obsidian.
I trust Obsidian with a game like that. So
yeah. Oh god, there's another UI question.
Next question, another UI question.
Can we skip that?
at BlueHawk357. Would you rather a 4K UI or a developer have 512 meg of extra RAM? I want the 4K UI. And guess what?
Really?
It's not going to cost 512 meg of extra RAM.
I had no idea.
That's the whole point.
I had no idea you were really passionate about a 4K.
They've already allocated the RAM for the UI. They've done it. It's locked away. The 3 gig is locked away. Make it 4K within that 3 gig. If you can't do it, then talk to your software engineers about why they can't. Because then there is a problem with the OS.
Yeah.
If Sony can bring Snap back and have all these cards and have all this cool stuff in their UI and have it be 4K, then there is no excuse.
Right, we're banning future UI related questions on this podcast until it's 4K.
I'm sorry. People, if you're happy with 1080, more power to
people
you.
On the Discord have already been getting muted because of contentious opinions with UI.
Like I've been running that Discord now for a while, and nearly 2 years or so, and I have never gone the iron fist ruler option on people. But this UI thing, man, like seriously, seeing words being put in mouths, personal insults, the whole lot, like, nah, man, I'm done with that shit. Like, if I'm not asking you to not be fine with it. If you're happy with a 1080 dash, be happy with a 1080 dash. Just stop making excuses for it. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's fine to, like, I'm fine with games not being native 4K.
I'm going to have to enter into the timestamp dash Rant part 2.
Yeah.
I think we can.
Come on, let's move on.
We can skip.
That's it. Well, that's kind of the last question. Like, there's another question by at Vincent Arnett. Was there supposed to be an event for Xbox next month?
We've answered that.
It's the fan fest.
There was one more, which
also from Blue Hawk.
Yeah.
Do you plan on having guests on the podcast like Colt Eastwood, Club Brawl, Rand, or Vicious 696?
We have guests when we can.
That's Paris from the Gamertag Radio.
Is, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've spoken to Rand. I'm in a Discord DM with Rand.
Yeah, we speak to a lot of. We don't speak to Colt. Colt's not on our Discord.
I don't know. I mean, I know of Colt Eastwood. I don't know who Colt Eastwood is, but I know of him.
Yeah. I'd say yes. Clob's very elusive, very stealthy squirrel.
Clob probably won't do it.
He's hunting from oak tree to oak tree.
Rand might. I reckon we might be able to get Rand on.
Yeah,
I'm
open. I'm open to any of the, because the wider Xbox community, I think for the most part, is really great. And I think there's a lot of people out there that push positivity as their message and not the relentless negativity of the YouTube algorithm, and that I appreciate. And I think it's important to highlight. And and arguably, look, let's be honest. They're all way, way bigger and have been at this way, way longer than us. So, yeah, if they want to come on our podcast and guest host with us, I'm all for it. It would be very, very cool to have them along. Totally fine with it.
And to be fair to us, like, if you want to look at our YouTube channel, like, we don't have, like, our I'm a big stickler on uniformity. I used to be a graphic designer. You know, I think our YouTube thumbnails are pretty good. Like, they look nice visually. They have a theme to them. So when you look at our playlists on our YouTube channels, it's all themed. It's all really, really nice.
Yep.
And I crack the shits when people don't use the right font or don't keep everything the way it's meant to be. I get really annoyed with it. So I go in and I fix it myself. But we don't have any of those YouTube thumbnails where I'm making a face like, and like some headline that says like, you know, I think we keep relatively clickbait free, despite what some say. Like, you know, that article didn't say Bungie's been acquired.
We said we think the rumors are real.
We think the rumors are real based on these things we noticed. Like,
and they were.
It's not, and you know, and we didn't create a YouTube video with a stupid clickbaity icon that had Bungie being acquired. Like I think we keep it fairly clickbait free.
Yeah.
Like, you know. Anyway.
I agree.
Check out our YouTube channel.
Yeah. You go and do that right now. Maybe I'll mark that timestamp.
Like and subscribe.
I'll mark this timestamp as like exclusive new rumor mill, and that's the one everyone will click, and it'll just be like, you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Like, I don't.
I think we've got a couple more on the forum. Have we got any on the forum for questions, community questions?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't check. I don't think so, because I didn't put anything out on the forum to ask for community questions or the Discord.
I think that I probably copy pasted my my tweet. So let's scroll on down.
Where is it?
I love our little timeline thing. I think this is so neat.
Oh wow, same question. Apache XO 2020, yes or no, and why? We covered that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, Tavish Hill says when would be the ideal time to have XO? For launch, just before.
Yeah.
Or the night, maybe that Mexican thing.
Yeah, it's the night before.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting question. And oh man, I can't believe we didn't discuss this. The GameStop partnership. So Tavish Hill has asked, one, thoughts on the Xbox GameStop partnership ad and how it might affect sales this holiday. What do you think the machine learning might have on game tech this coming generation? What effect, do you think machine learning might have, specifically WRT RPGs, Western RPGs? The planes in Flight Sim have ASXGS on them, and prior to the name change from Microsoft Game Studios to Xbox Game Studios, had ASMGS. Any connection to the rumors you had heard about the potential studio acquisitions? I don't think so, because it's AS Asobo Studios, Xbox Game Studios.
Yeah, I don't think the update is just being on brand. I know there was an Instagram clip of Asobo being interviewed or filmed in front of a bunch of Xbox Game Studio Flight Sim stuff.
Flight Sim for Xbox.
Hopefully, it's about Flight Simulator for Xbox Series X.
Probably.
We'll come back to the GameStop partnership in a second.
Yeah, the GameStop partnership, I completely forgot about that.
So did I. It's just too much news. It's relentless. What effects do we think machine learning might have on game tech? Now, this is an interesting one because Microsoft, I think, purchased a piece of software or an AI software. I can't remember the name, and I'm sure someone will tell me in the YouTube comments.
Well, they have DirectML.
Well, this is a specific because he's referencing RPGs. There was a specific kind of software where it was almost like you could type, I opened the chest and looked at you, and then the AI would respond in a very human way on the fly with no writing required. It was very cool. I've seen a demo of it. I can't remember the name of it. Microsoft own that. It's probably more for applications like Cortana and smart devices and things like that. But yes, there are potential applications in that kind of space, in dialogue. But at the same time, I think that a creator, when they're making a video game, they want to have a hand in what their characters are saying. And for every cool example of that kind of tech, we've seen the examples where I think Microsoft did a Twitter bot that started getting really, really racist. I can't remember if it was Microsoft. It was one of the tech companies. And that's the other side of the coin. So AI learns by being fed.
It started soaking up
all the
Twitter
awfulness on Twitter.
And the result of that was that it became a horribly racist Twitter bot.
Yeah, it was pretty horrific.
Really, that's a lot of what goes on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is it, though, for community questions. So,
well, the GameStop thing.
Well, yes, I'll put that as a separate timestamp because I think that's an important one to discuss. So, the GameStop partnership.
So that's 2 generations in a row now that Microsoft has held out an olive branch to GameStop. First time was unofficially. This time's officially.
Yeah.
So in 2013. Microsoft's original plan for the Xbox One, which everyone had a whiny cry about, was actually, even more so in hindsight, an olive branch to help GameStop last longer, because they were helping people more slowly transition to digital, because you were going to be able to take your disc, install it, and have a digital copy, but you were still going to have the disc. So they were kind of, in a way, helping GameStop stay relevant longer. Now Sony's got a full digital console. Microsoft's got a full digital console, which is more of an FU to GameStop. But now Microsoft's helping them again. Initially, I thought it was just the back-end infrastructure, like putting them on Teams and 365 and Azure. And
they're doing all those things.
But it's further than that, isn't it?
Yeah, they're sharing a direct revenue cut, I believe, from what I understood of the article, to GameStop for, I think, digital code sales, Xbox All Access sales, etc., which is really interesting because, yes, Microsoft in the 360 gen, ruled North America with a pretty solid. Well, not right up until the end. They kind of the lead was made up, but they really were the 360 land. And I'm sure they.
I think they'd even sold more than the Wii by the end of the generation
in North America.
Or
I think
it was
so.
Like super close. Close. In the US.
And I think they definitely want to have that position again. And this is a really interesting way of a company, from a retail perspective, that is especially after COVID on the ropes. And now. They are going to have their staff are going to have an incentive to push the Xbox platform. I think that's. If I were PlayStation, I question. I don't know, but I have to wonder if what the legalities of that are in terms of bias. If you're a supplier of hardware and you're forever pushing your preferred platform because it makes you money.
Hold on. Retail incentives have been a thing in retail forever.
They have, yeah, but this is a partner-wide. I don't know. It's just interesting to me, but it's definitely probably going to save GameStop's bacon this holiday.
Yeah, look, let me just say, how do I say this without... Okay, so trust me when I say stuff goes on in the background with these manufacturers that a lot of people don't know about. Phone calls get made, deals get done. Trust me, what Microsoft's doing right now, they're being completely open about it. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
It's interesting. It is interesting. I'd be curious to see what effect, if any, it has on the market in North America. And I'm also curious to see.
Well, it'll have some kind of effect. Like if like I used to work in retail for telecommunications, selling phones and plans and stuff. And, if we had an incentive, so for example, for a while there, I think, if you were getting extra commission for selling, say, a Motorola on a particular plan, guess what you're going to push?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
You're going to push that Motorola on a particular plan. If you know someone's coming for a $60 plan and recommend me a phone, you're probably going to lean towards the Motorola, knowing there's going to be a little bit extra in it for you.
Yeah.
That's just retail. Like, that's how it is. So the assumption is now going to be that when someone walks into GameStop/EB Games and says, recommend me a console, guess what? More often than not, they're probably, or at least head office will encourage them to recommend Xbox.
Yep.
But based on what I've heard about the deal, I haven't read into it properly to know 100%.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then yes, head office will be encouraging the staff to recommend Xbox is the assumption.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
be interesting.
Yeah.
So I think that probably draws more or less this week's episode of the Xbox Era podcast to a close. We are not far away now from new toys for everybody in November.
I am.
Well, apart from if your pre-order's been pushed back a little bit.
I'm not getting my Xbox till December, I don't think.
#orcs.
Getting a PS5 day one, though.
Yeah, there you go. See how guys.
Getting a PS5.
PlayStation era, here we come. It is going to be quite exciting. We're as a team, we're looking to do as much coverage as we can. Obviously, we're not up there with the big boys. You know, we didn't get preview units and things like that. So, you know, we're going to do our best. But we'll be right there with you guys, cheering on from launch day onwards and enjoying our consoles. We'll be back with videos and content as quick as we can make it for our thoughts. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really, really sort of fun. It'd be nice after this horrible year to just chill out and play some new games, I think. And of course someone's going to put a comment in there, Xbox hasn't got any new games, and I'm not going to read it.
Well, the comment I was about to make is that 2021 might not be much better.
Well, yeah, well, I guess I think the
COVID doesn't go away December 31.
No, I know.
2020.
It's very, very obvious at this point, isn't it? But until then, we'll be back in 2 weeks with another Xbox Era podcast, unless Microsoft buys the rest of the gaming industry. We'll be back for a special episode if that happens. As always, head over to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to Xbox Era, click the damn button.
Please subscribe.
Ring the bell, all of that fun stuff. Drop in and say hello on Twitter. Drop by our forums and participate. And if you really love what we do, if you listen to this podcast on a regular basis and you're not on the forum and you don't follow us anywhere, check out our Patreon. We offer some pretty cool stuff, and it's just about to have a refresh. So our existing patrons that are MVPs and our contributors, they will get a new set of cool merch in another 3 months, I think. I've already seen the initial design for the next MVP t-shirt. It's really cool. I'm again really jelly. So yeah, check it out if you want to. And I guess until that point, we'll see you next time. It's a bye from me.
Ciao for now.
See you guys later.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.